What's up everyone, James here. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at this Aquarium LED light by Hygger. It's the HG508-11W LED light, so I'm really interested to see what it's like. So without further ado, let's get unboxing. Alright then, so here's the packaging. I really like the fact that they always use really nice thick card with their packaging. It always looks really good, and I think the print looks pretty decent. It's always a nightmare trying to get these bits out, so I pre-emptied and managed to get myself a piece. So this is the packaging, as you can see here. It's nice and tightly packed in here. You've got, if I can even get inside, you have the sponge, and here is the LED light. I want to be a bit gentle with it. There you go. It feels very light. What we got in here, of the brackets and the cable, and let me have a quick look inside. We get if I can get it, a manual, and there is something right at the very bottom, which is, that's just a piece of foam. There you go, piece of foam. So now I've finally got that out. Here's the light. It feels quite light for a light. Weighs quite nicely. They're the LEDs that you get. It's quite a nice slick design actually. I'm trying to bend that, and no, you can't bend that. That is made of metal, so that isn't going to bend very well. You've got the controller here, which is just your basic buttons. You've got a sort of a daily cycle light there, and I'm assuming you can change it through different things here. And you've got an increase and dim and an on and off switch. So when you look at the manuals, you can see the basic functions. You've got the on and off. You've got the cycle button that chooses between 3 different modes. There's full spectrum, there's a white light, and a blue mode where only the blues turn on. And then you've got a option to adjust the brightness, and a button to set the lighting time to 6 hours, 8 hours, or 12 to turn off the timer. So it's got an automatic timer, but we're going to be hooking it up to a smart plug anyway, so I'd like to have my own timers on that set with the rest of the room. But yeah, you've got all the other instructions there, but there's not really too much to it. So you've got the 2 brackets, and then I'm assuming in here is some sort of plug. Let's have a look. Yep, so your basic adapter here. This is a 11W light, so I'm hoping that it should be really good for this tank. Alright then, so as you can see, there is quite a bit of difference in the lighting compared to the other ones. We've got a different light. You can see the marks on the aquarium glass a bit more now, which is hilarious. It spooked the fish a little bit, but I'm hoping they'll be okay. But in terms of plants and stuff, you see I'm using this CO2 system by Tetra. It's like a little CO2 in a can sort of thing. And it started to do quite well on the plants in the few days that I've had it hooked up, but I'm hoping with a stronger light it's going to increase that. The light itself doesn't look too bad. Let me just get the lights back on so you can have a look properly. Yeah, so the actual light itself fits okay. I noticed with these, like if you push this side, basically these bars will come out slightly, so it doesn't technically fit on this aquarium very well, but it says it starts from about 30 centimeters, so maybe it's just under on this one. But yeah, it doesn't look too bad, I guess. It's just whatever's your own personal preference. But yeah, I guess give it a few weeks now and see how we go. In terms of operation, let's just have a quick look at the buttons then. So yeah, like you said, you got the cycle button, which changes to the blues. Let me get the lights off again. It changes to the blues, which I don't understand why anyone would have them, but then there's the full spectrum, so that doesn't really do too much. But if you notice in the reflection, you've got the full spectrum there, with the blues. So yeah, there you go. And then you've got the adjustment of brightness. So it wasn't fully on, now it's dimming. So that's its lowest. That appears to be its brightest. So yeah, we'll check back in then in a couple of weeks time and see how we've gone with the light and see if it makes any difference to the plant growth. I'm sure it's going to increase the algae in this aquarium if I don't have the lights on a decent timer, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see how we go. Obviously bearing in mind we do have CO2 on this. Alright everyone, so it's been about 5 weeks now since I have the light hooked up to this aquarium, and I just want to give my thoughts and opinions on the light, how it's performed and what I've come to experience in the time that it's been on the aquarium. In terms of brightness, it absolutely outweighed the LED light that was on the tank, so it's been really nice to experience my fish with a brighter light on it, so that's been really good. The only downside I would say is that that's all it does really. In terms of growth, it hasn't really affected my plants too much. Now I have a CO2 system on this as well, and I've been dosing with fertilizers, so you think one of the two would have caused an improvement on the plants that are in the tank and they would have absolutely exploded, but I seem to be having more success with a tank that I'm not really looking after at the moment that just has a Nicrew LED on it, and the plants are growing, and I haven't been using fertilizers or there's no CO2 to it, and the plants seem to just be doing better. I really like the design of the light itself. It's really slick and slim, and it looks really nice on the aquarium. It's a lot better than some of the other bulky LED lights that I've used, so that does have something good going for it. The only thing that I would say is that the controllers on the light, it's one of those things where like you can't plug it into a smart plug or anything, because if you do, once the smart plug turns on, it doesn't turn the light on. You have to physically go and press the button, which is a really big pain, especially for my room here where every one of my aquariums is hooked up with a smart plug, so I like to use them for timers as opposed to the timers that are built into the lights. Now this light does have a timer which you can set. I must admit I haven't used it, but I can't see why it would be a problem if you did want to have it on constantly and then set your own sort of timers to it. But for ease of access and to have availability on my smartphone, for example, just to turn them on, or voice commands, then it's really handy to have lights hooked up to a smart plug and, you know, when they turn on. So I put some of the growth a little bit at the beginning of the plants down to the fact that the light didn't turn on, so I had to physically come into the shed to turn the light on. But then what I did is I just unplugged it for a couple of weeks and just plugged it and left it solidly on, just to test to see if the light made any more improvements to the plants, and it made a tiny bit of growth. I mean, you can see right here the plants are reaching a little bit higher, but I haven't noticed anything substantial, and in the end I just put it back onto a smart plug and yeah, come in there every day to just turn the lights on. So they're only on for a few hours nowadays, but it's just what it is. Pricing wise, this light from a quick Google search looks like it comes into about £30, which is fairly reasonable, I guess, for the lights that you're getting. Although I would say that the Nicrew lights that I use, I have seen them online for about 15 quid, and they are the full RGB lights too, so it's roughly the similar kind of spec ones, around the same size as well, especially the nano ones. So you can get the lights elsewhere in other ones, so it depends on your personal preference. But from the experiences that I've had so far with this light, it's a good light, but I seem to be having better results using some of the older Nicrew lights that I've been using in the past. I think overall functionality of the device as well, so heating, I mean, if you touch it, it's roughly about the same sort of touch temperature as many of the other lights, so it don't feel like it's overheating. It's in a shed at the moment in the middle of this sort of summertime, so it's been really hot recently, so it hasn't like been ridiculous enough that I can't touch the light, so that's probably a good sign. Customer service wise, I haven't really had too much dealings with Hugger other than the times that they have offered to send me products, which, full disclosure, this is a one that they sent me to try out, so I haven't had too much experience other than a sort of an experience of them sending the product to me and wanting to know how I've got on. I think my final thoughts are, it's a good light, it does the job, but I feel like there's better lights out there that perform a little bit better than that. As always with the Hugger products, I do like the designs of them, and I really like the packaging as well. I think they come in some nice boxing and stuff, like it's quite hard, so it comes really well packed, and the instructions are very clear as well, so it's really good. But yeah, I just feel like there's better out there. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think of the light in the comments below, if you've used it or if you recommend any other good lights that I have yet to try out. That would be great. Let us know in the comments. If you could, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any further videos that I do or product reviews. I've got a couple more in the pipeline, so look out for them in the future. And until next time, you stay safe.